Hello everyone. Let's talk Japanese maple today. So in this garden there are 8 total, 3 in the back and 5 in the front. I have 3 in containers and the rest are in the ground. So before we talk about all the Japanese maples, I wanted to let you know that in our zone here, it seems like you cannot go wrong with a Japanese maple. They seem to do so well over here, even in containers, even when they're small, when they're a lot bigger. Now I'm not referring to them when they're really like small, like they're seedling, because in that case, it seems like it's a lot harder to take care of them. But once you get it established to maybe say at least 1 foot, 1 foot high, I think it'll be easier because I am taking care of one right now and I'll show you that later. And even though Japanese maples prefer part sun or part shade, they somehow can do well in our crazy hot environment here as well. I don't know if it's due to the humidity, but whatever it is, they can tolerate the sun. So when it does get really hot here, it does scorch some of the leaves. But overall, they can still tolerate and they can still do pretty good in the hot sun. So if you don't have a part sun location and you would like to grow Japanese maple, they can still do well in the sun, in the hot sun, especially the Dissectum types of leaves, and we'll go over that later. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about the Japanese maples in this garden. All right, so behind me here is called the coral bark Japanese maple, and it is so pretty. It has grown so fast, so surprising, because I believe I got this in 2021 or 2022, and this is the only one purchased that time that is in the ground right now or has been planted in the ground when it was purchased. So this is why it's called a coral bark Japanese maple. All the new branching would be red in color. So let me find a good one. Otherwise, it is the green color. So here's one. You can see that it is on the red side. So far, I have not seen that red coral bark color like you've seen in other gardens or maybe people have advertised. I don't know if this is a different species of it, where it's not, the coral bark is not pronounced. But anyway, usually you only see the red with the new branches. Once the branches are mature, they just become green, like here. So one thing to note about this Japanese maple is that you can see that there are so much branching, so many leaves, and look at the stem. It's still tiny, or still small and immature, not thick yet in size, that is, compared to the overall crown of the tree. So hopefully the trunk will thicken up in the next few years. Otherwise, I'll just have to keep pruning the branches back so it will not get too top heavy. But with Japanese maples, especially with this one, even the branching or the branches are not, they're not big at all. They're still very flexible. So I don't know if that's part of the feature of this Japanese maple. So they just go with the flow of the wind. So I don't think that, at least for the next few years, I don't think the branches will impact because of the small trunk, but we'll keep an eye on the whole tree for the next few years. All right, so now we're gonna head over to the front. All right, so this Japanese maple was purchased in the fall, and it was labeled as a red Acer palmatum. Right there. Look what it says. I got this at Home Depot. It says Acer palmatum variety Dissectum. And look at this plant and look at the leaves. So looking at the leaves, it looks like they are of the palmatum type. So with Japanese maple, palmatum means that it typically looks like your palm. So this more looks like a palmatum. Later we'll look at the Dissectum variety or species, and you can see the difference. So to me, this looks like it's a palmatum, but there may be a little bit of Dissectum in there. So maybe that's what they are referring to. And look at the picture. It looks like it's supposed to be a weeping type of Japanese maple, 6 to 10 feet in height. And look at how this is looking right now. I was trying to think of the word that it became leggy. That's why you have branches going up like this. So I'm not sure, but to me, it does not look like it's a weeping kind at all. It looks like it's going to be growing upright. So that is something for you to be mindful of if you buy your Japanese maple at a big box store, that you'll have to read the tag very, very carefully and see if it even looks like what it says it's supposed to look like. All right, so you notice that the foliage is red. There's a little bit of green there compared to the coral bark that we looked at earlier. So when you buy your Japanese maples from a big box store, say Home Depot, Lowe's, or even Walmart, most of the time the Japanese maples that you're going to likely get would be the Bloodgood type of Japanese maple, which means that they pretty much stay burgundy or dark red or this kind of color for spring and summer. Sometimes in the summer you may see a little bit of green to the foliage, but otherwise the overall color would be still that dark red or burgundy color. And then in the fall, you'll see it change to a nice bright orange reddish color. All right, so now we'll go and take a look at the one in the front. So the kind that we just looked at, I'm pretty sure it is a Bloodgood Japanese maple, same as the one that we're going to be looking at now. All right, so you can see, you see that? It says palmatum, Acer palmatum. You can see that the leaf structure resembles your palm, palmatum, just like that. Similar to the other one we just looked at. So, and let me show you the plant tag. You see how it shows green? I have never seen this Japanese maple with green foliage before. So again, when you buy Japanese maples from a big box store or even Walmart, just make sure that you know you might not be getting the correct tag for your Japanese maple. But you know, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it really matters, as long as you know that you have a Japanese maple and you like the way it looks, you like the foliage and all that. That's all that it really matters in the end. So do not worry about it, because I do understand when you're starting out. Even me right now, I've been gardening for several years now, and prices is still an issue. I still can't buy certain plants that I want because I'm on a budget. So I totally understand if where you're coming from too. If you just want to have a Japanese maple and you found one at Walmart and you want it, go ahead and grab it, because that's exactly what happened to me. So as long as you have a Japanese maple and you like it, that's all that it matters. All right, so in addition to this Bloodgood Japanese maple, I also have another one in the backyard that was a gift, and of course the one that was shown to you. So two of the Bloodgood Japanese maples are in containers. And what's good about Japanese maples, because they're not big trees, is that you can start them off in containers until you find a good location for each one of them. All right, let's come to our first Japanese maple, Acer Palmatum Dissectum. So you can see the difference. This is a dissected leaf right here. So it's a palmatum that has been dissected. Therefore, that's why it is called Acer Palmatum Dissectum. This was purchased at Walmart as well. So even though this is an Acer Palmatum Dissectum, it pretty much stays this color, similar to the Bloodgood Japanese maple. The other difference between the ones that were shown and this is that this one is a weeping kind. So here in this garden, there are two of this type of Japanese maple. There's one here, one in the back. They're both weeping type. All right, so this is what I just noticed. All the Acer Palmatum Dissectum type of Japanese maples, they are all the weeping type. I guess I just never paid that much attention to the leaf structure and whether it's a weeping type or not. So we are learning this together. I'm so kind of excited to know this fact right now. All right, next we come to one of my favorite Japanese maples, and that is this Acer Palmatum Dissectum Veritus. Now, when you're talking about Japanese maples, Veritus means that it's green. So this Japanese maple stays green in the spring, in the summer, but in the fall, it changes to a nice yellow color before the leaves drop off. So let's take a closer look at it. By far, this is the most expensive Japanese maple purchased. I just love the way that it stays green like this. I know that when we think of Japanese maples, I think most of us assume that they are reddish in color, but I think that is why this is one of my favorites, because it stays green, and the fact that it's also a dissectum type of Japanese maple, and also the fact that it is a weeper as well. It just makes this Japanese maple very unique, and I just love it. So I don't know if I made the right decision by pruning this off, but I just felt like it was impeding with this. So if this was not cut off, it would have been a lot taller, probably up to here now. So it's being set back a little bit, but I think The reason I did that is so that, hoping that some of the branches here would be growing up higher and then weeping down. Anyway, this is one of the Japanese maples that I love. And it is doing so well in this part sun location. It used to be in full sun over there. It didn't do as good as it is doing now. I mean, it still did fine. It had some leaves burnt during the summer, but overall it still did good. And last year it was around here. It didn't do bad or anything like that. It still did well, but I think it prefers this location a lot better because it gets more sun over here, and of course less sun than when it was over there. And also the fact that it's closer to here because it's in a container, it's easier to water. All right, and last but not least, we come to the biggest Japanese maple that this garden has, and I know that you have seen it. It's in the front of me here. This Japanese maple was original to the house. I would say it was the size of that Bloodgood Japanese maple. So it was the size of that Japanese maple mentioned earlier, but there was definitely more branching. So over the years, I have pruned it to the way that I would like it to look, and I think I did a pretty good job overall. So right now, I would say it is, if I were to guess, more than 25 feet high. I would say maybe 30 feet high. It'll be nice if I could measure it one day. And this is the other favorite Japanese maple of mine. So the reason I like this one, not only because of its beautiful branching structure, but that this is a very special Japanese maple. What is meant by that is that the leaves change color with the season. So in the spring, it is what you would call purplish, reddish in color. In the summer, it would be green, and in the fall, it would be orange to reddish color. And that is why I love this Japanese maple so much. It offers 4 seasons of interest. The last season of interest would be winter, when all the leaves die back. All you see is the sculptural feature of the branches and the trunk, which, you know, it's just so beautiful in itself. All right, so I am underneath the canopy of the Japanese maple right now, and look at all the beautiful branching that this Japanese maple has. It is one of the best features that I like about this one. And please tell me, what is your favorite Japanese maple of yours? And thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. So with that, take care and bye for now. All right, my friends, if you stayed on this long, thank you so much. I totally forgot to show you the Japanese maple that I have been taking care of. It's a baby one, trying to keep it alive for my sister. So yeah, it tends to be a little bit harder to take care of a baby Japanese maple. But once you get it to a certain height, I would say a good 1 foot, then more likely it's going to make it. So I have done that for my mother-in-law. So now I'm taking care of one for my sister. All right, so here it is underneath another Japanese maple. So I have gotten it to be this size already. We get a lot of Japanese maple coming up, a lot of seedlings. So right now there are a lot of Japanese maple seedling over there. If they are not taken care of, all of them will die. So this is the one that was overwintered this winter, And look at how big it has gotten. Cannot wait for it to get bigger this whole season. It is the same Japanese maple as that one, the very special one. So totally excited to get this going so it could be gifted to my sister when she comes to visit. All right, so we'll go ahead and put it back in here to be protected by this more mature Japanese maple. And it should be doing good for the spring and summer. So that is all I wanted to show you, that you can take care of Japanese maple. It just takes a lot more work in the beginning. So thank you again if you stayed on this long to watch the little Japanese maple here. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, thank you again for watching the video. If you would like to support my channel, please subscribe and watch some of the other videos. The video links are up above for you. So with that, thank you so much in advance. Take care and bye for now.